is a Monday night, and we do the Monday night live streams. I feel like such a podcaster, and I'm not. Only because I have this fun microphone right here. I should probably sign into my chat so that way I can see when people type things. New timeout lengths. Wow. Wow, that's so fantastic. That's so fantastic that we can have new timeout things. Not that I ever use it, but we have it. We have it. Hello, Joe. Welcome. Welcome, everyone. What's up, Joe? I feel like I'm way too close to this microphone. What's up, Brandon? What are you guys doing? Welcome. I'm one with the microphone tonight, you guys. I am one with the microphone. Lance. Hello, Lance. Hello. I told you guys I'm gonna try to start doing live streams on Monday nights, and it's Monday night, so we're doing the live streams. What's poppin'? What's going on? What the fuck? Tell me about it, man. Early birdie. That's what's up. Oh, stream. And woo, what is this ASMR? Do you want the ASMR? I can give you the ASMR if that's what you want. I don't know how good it will be. I don't want to blow into the mic. I feel like that's a little rude. I feel like that one's a little bit rude. Good day to you, sir. Good day, Thomas. The ASMR is wild. Does it sound like ASMR? Lick the mic. Can you hear that? Can you guys hear me lick the mic? Invite Remy. It doesn't work that way on YouTube, unfortunately. That's like Instagram and TikTok stuff. Can't really do the same thing on YouTube. So, whisper something sweet. You want the sweet nothings whispered into your ear? ASMR engine build. Dude, I don't have anywhere quiet enough for that, man. I would drop a tool on the ground. It would ruin the whole video. Whole video would be ruined. Get out of here, Mr. Mercenaries. Get out of here. You guys trying to get weird tonight. Directly into my brain. Oh, all right, enough of the ASMR stuff. Enough of the ASMR. What's going on? What's popping? I gotta go back to the shop after this, so I got about an hour to be able to stream with you guys. Lick your cams. I don't have any cams in here. I don't got no cams. No camshafts up in here. Whispers aren't effective without a wig. Just saying. Paul, let the wig go. Let the wig go, dude. Once you get Bluetoothed even more, do you think you'll be on this first live versus the Hoonigan channel? I don't know. Maybe. That'd be kind of cool. Didn't Hoonigan sell their place to some wheel company though? Isn't everyone at Hoonigan leaving Hoonigan and they're doing non-Hoonigan things at other Hoonigan locations, not at Hoonigan? Because I'm pretty sure they sold Hoonigan. I don't know if it's the same Hoonigan though. Tanner, should I get a pitch stop or nah? If you want to. I mean, there's nothing wrong with getting a pitch stop. It's a good cheap modification. Gives you some good responsiveness. Gives you some better driving feel. It's a fun time. It's an easy install. All in all, in my opinion, it's a win. I say get the pitch stop, man. Never thought Tanner be the one to ick out first. Are you challenging me to a weird off right now, Jason? Because you won't win. You won't win that. I like to get weird, man. Tanner, why does my Legacy GT wagon hate living? Have you whispered sweet nothings into its ear? Maybe it just needs a little bit of love. Whisper sweet nothings into its ear. I've been doing that to that 07 STI at the shop all day. I've been whispering sweet nothings. Speaking of which, dude, I don't know if you guys saw it on my Instagram story. Someone, I swear it was Car Toys. My money's on Car Toys or Walmart or Best Buy, who installed that security system in that thing. It was so bad. So bad. Dude, they spliced a little section of wire off and then just gave it half a twist around it and then used a whole roll of electrical tape around the whole thing. It was not a fun time. Evo Garage, what's going on, man? Brandon, we back. Still waiting on the Evo update. Brandon, you get your Evo running yet? If not, you need to. Bro, what's the deal, brother? You tell me. What's the deal? We're doing our weekly. I'm trying to get back into doing the weekly live stream thing. So we're starting with the one last week. Now we're doing this one this week, and I'm gonna hope to keep it going every single Mondays. Yo, Tanner, IAG or out front? Honestly, you flip a coin. Personal preference for short blocks. I like my guys down at out front. Jeremy does awesome work. He does quick work, and he's been a pleasure to work with in the past. So normally I go out front. I like my guys down there. Car Toy is Josh. I'm telling. Watch it be Josh that installed that some time ago in the past. It wouldn't surprise me with some of the wiring work I've seen Josh do. Josh, I love you if you see this. I'm just joking. I'm just poking fun. I got a second sound system installed at Car Toys. Not sure how I feel about it. Seems to be going fine since I got it a year ago. I mean, as long as it's still going fine, that works. Walmart. Walmart. I did the U2, the 700 wheel horsepower WRX on Kylex. We tuned it.
If you go back in that video far enough, you'll probably see how it was tuned. You'll probably see how it was tuned. I just can't say. Tanner takes years to get his whip done. Wow, dude, that hurt. Hurt my feelings, man. This is expensive, all right? This is expensive. I ain't rich, all right? I'm lower middle class at best. Leave me alone. Would you ever build a rare STI IES 209 Type R? Only if I got one for like cheap. Like cheap. I don't see the point in spending all this money on a special edition car for me to go and tear it apart and modify it. It just kind of ruins the special editionness of it, I guess. But I mean, if I got one for the same price of like a standard one, then yeah, I'd probably do it. I mean, I modify pretty much anything I touch at this point. Hey, I'm so glad you did another live stream. So I'm trying to do one a week. I'm trying. I'm sticking with it. Tanner and Remy, or call him as a fan request. Who? Hey, Tanner, blessings from Jamaica. Why does my 2005 WRX Impreza display P0365 camshaft position sensor B circuit bank 1? I mean that could be a lot. It could be a bad sensor. Could be out of time on that bank. I mean, there could be a ton of things. You could have a wire that's broken. That's a very broad code for me to try to guess what the problem could be. I mean, it could be a handful of things, to be honest. Bad wire harness, bad sensor, bad grounds, out of time on that bank. Could be a handful of things. Do another GTR. I've never technically owned a GTR. I owned a GTST because your boy's too poor to buy a GTR. Remy is busy breaking things or trying to burn his cars down. Oh, poor Remy. Do you have an ETA for the RS, or it's sitting in a storage unit? I just don't care to touch it right now. That's something I have like an idea for what I want to do with that car, and I just don't have the means to do it right now. So I'm just gonna let it sit in the dark little box it's in and think about what it's done. Are you gonna do E85 on the new WRX? Yes. Just not right now because we ran out of time when we were on the dyno tuning last time. But yes, we are gonna be doing E85 soon. Why does my 03 WRX hate third gear? Because it's a 5-speed. If it is still a 5-speed, it's because it's a 5-speed. That's why, man. It's probably on, like, 03 WRX. I'm assuming it's still the OEM 5-speed, so I'm assuming it's got, like, 150 to 200,000 miles at this point. The thing's probably just living on its last leg right now. Tanner, get rid of the RX-7 and get an R34. Never. I hate R34s.
I hate R34s.
You heard me say it. I would much rather have my RX-7 than R34 any day of the week. If I wanted another Skyline, buy an R32. R32 is the king of all the GTR series, in my opinion. R34s, they're overpriced, they're overplayed, they're overdone. R32s, dude, in my opinion, they look way better also. Like, if I'm getting one, I'm getting an R32, but I would not sell my RX-7 for an R34 because I don't want an R34. Plus, there's, like, only 2 cars in my, like, current status that I would, like, keep, and that is the 17 STI and the RX-7. Those are the 2 cars I wouldn't get rid of. Too many projects, not enough money. That is a very accurate statement right there. Joe, appreciate the dono, man. Since you're middle class, yeah, to read my other message. Am I good to drive 20 miles? You know, I'm replacing downpipe and exhaust. If I don't, as long as you don't get into boost, you should be all right. Just drive it very cautiously and very leisurely, like you're driving like a grandma. Most tuners will send you a base map if you need a base map. Go ahead and like email them, give them your list of mods. If you have a dyno date scheduled already, they should have a base map. Most tuners will give you a base map to be able to drive to the tune on. If they don't have one for you, stay out of boost. Be like no more than like 20% throttle. Shift at like 2,500, 3,000 RPM maximum, and just, you know, enjoy the drive down. Child support payment. Thank you, Brandon. I appreciate that, man. I didn't know I had a child, but thank you, man. Unless you're talking about the Corgi, which, I mean, I guess technically it's my little fur baby. R33 is better. I'm not a big fan of the R33s. I'm not personally a huge fan of the R33s. Do some look good? Yes. Do they all look good? In my opinion, no. I like the R32s, all right, man? I like what I like. I like what I like. What a nose attack color would you do on a 2020 STI getting wrapped soon? Well, what color is the car now? That's my question. I like very neutral colors. I'm a very neutral color person. Black, white, gray, silver. I'm a very neutral color person when it comes to wrapping cars. It's not often that I go out of the way and do like fun colors like I did on the STI. I was looking at doing it like black or white, like a basic color at first. So I don't know. Go on their website, see what you like. Pick them out. They got a lot of cool colors on there. They also got a lot of weird colors on there too, though. Would you replace synchros or just buy a new transmission? Just buy a 6-speed. If you got the budget for it, buy a 6-speed. Or find a broken 6-speed and fix the broken 6-speed. Seems like a win-win. Or if you want, you could just do synchros in the 5-speed and be on your way. Are you doing meetups during your 07 STI test road trip? Yes, we will be. So The game plan is to go from here to Spokane to Utah to Iowa. I think it's either Ohio or Iowa. I don't remember. Then down to Texas, then over to Arizona, then over to California, then back up to Washington. So it's going to be like a really big circle going around. Car silver now, very boring. What's wrong with boring? Silver ain't boring. I don't know, man. Do yellow. You can't go wrong with yellow. Yellow good. Spill the beans, PIA. I got my car tuned there, and now you got me scared. Spill the. It's just personal preference. I don't like. So if you guys don't know what PIA is a local tuning shop over here. I talked with PIA 8 years ago when I didn't know much about cars at the time. I had my 350Z. I called over there trying to get a tune set up for some stuff that I had going on with some of the cars. The owner like mocked me on the phone, was a complete asshole to me. Sorry, excuse my language. I've seen cars go into their shop, have the wrong tunes loaded on them. They did one pull on the dyno and it sent straight to the moon, blew up the car. I'm just not a fan of them. The few times I have dealt with them, they didn't treat me very well. Just as a customer, even before like anything, just as a general customer, they treated me like poop. And I've just seen sketchy stuff come out of there. I will not take a car there. I'm just not a fan of them. Lance, appreciate the dono, man. We want to see a Forester next. I don't want to do a Forester. Josh does Foresters. I would love a FXT, but also it's like the same. Every time I build a Subaru, it's like I'm doing the same thing over and over and over and over again. It's all the same engine, just in a different body. This is like my EJ Subaru that I have now is like my 07 STI. That's going to be like the Subaru for right now. That's the Subaru one. When come to Texas? It'll probably be, when do we do? I think we're talking about doing it in March. As soon as like early to mid spring is when we're going to be looking at doing this. I'm thinking about moving to Spokane from Florida. Why? Why would you want to do that to yourself? Don't do that to yourself. From Florida and wanted to know what you think of there. It's sad. Spokane is such a sad city. I mean, take it with a grain of, like, anywhere can be sad, but like Spokane is kind of the only reason I would want to live in Spokane is because personally all my friends are there. They're over in Spokane. That'd be the only reason that I would personally live over there. The area itself, I guess, isn't terribly bad. It's just kind of a depressing. I think it's on like one of Washington's like saddest city lists or something like that. I would Google it. It's like it's an okay area. It's okay. There's better places. There's worse places, I guess. Should I take my charcoal filter off the 2022 Rex and would it void warranty? I don't technically think it would void warranty. It's just if you have emissions in your state and you have to get emissions testing done, don't rip it out because I'm pretty sure they'll do a visual check on it. Gross, I'm gonna do a Supra. I don't want to do a Supra. I'm not a big Supra dude either. Weird to say, right? I'm not a huge Mark IV Supra fan. Do they look cool? Yeah. Do they sound great? Yeah. Are they completely overpriced for what they are? 100%. The only thing that I personally would take out of one is a 2J, but even at that point, 2Js are overpriced. Parts are overpriced. There's other options out there. Waiting for you 20B eventually. I will eventually do a 20B. I will agree with that. Those things are just expensive. I'll probably do it how I do everything else, and I'll just like whenever I see deals come up on parts every now and then to be able to do a 20B, I'll probably snag it. Like if I see an E-shaft or if I see like center rotor housings or things like that, I'll probably snag them. But do they get expensive? What are some signs of a bad or sketchy tuners to notice? They only push only one brand of parts. Bad rap. I mean, so before my camera. So before I had Josh doing all of my tuning. Whenever I'd call around and I'd try to find tuners, there'd be a couple things that I'd avoid when it would come to selecting a tuner. If the tuner pushed me into like specific parts that I didn't want to use, or like some tuners are very comfortable with tuning cars with only like their package parts setups or things like that. I'm like, when it comes to tuning cars, tuning a car. There isn't much variation, and you'll get some tuners that you'll stumble across that will be in this like comfortable little pocket, and they'll want you to build your car their way for them to tune it. And tuners in the past that I've dealt with that have done this to me, I've typically avoided. If a tuner won't answer basic questions about the tune of my personal vehicle, in my opinion, that's kind of a red flag. Like, I'm paying you to tune my car for me. I would expect you to be able to answer these questions for me. If they're not listening or walking around the the topic of kind of what you want with the car. Like some of the best tuners that I have personally dealt with, Josh, obviously he's a good friend of mine. He like you've heard him in videos. He'll tune the car however I ask him to. Another really good one that I've dealt with is Chris over at Surge Line. He's one of the better tuners that I've dealt with as well. He'll answer any questions you have. He will give you disclaimers if you want to push the car past where it's comfortable at. They explain everything. They walk you through it. If you have multiple tunes, he'll show you how to do like access port setup, things like that. It used to be when Cobb owned it. I don't know who has it now. Cobb used to have a location in Dallas where they tuned out of. I don't know who has it. Plano. It used to be Cobb Plano. I don't know who has it now. Tuner down there was, I don't know if it's the same tuner because it was like 10 years ago, but tuner down there was really awesome also. Who else have I dealt with? There've been some other random tuners that I've dealt with. Bill from Delicious Tuning, he was a pretty good one when I had my BRZ. He was very open, honest. He allocated an entire day for tuning on my car. He was a really awesome dude. Do a 26B and compete with Rob Dom. Dude, I don't got Rob Dom kind of money to be able to do a 26B, all right? If I do a 20B, it'll take me like a year and a half, 2 years to be able to get all the parts for that stuff. Hey, Tanner, 21WX with FBO going flex fuel when Cobb releases the FA20 version. If I replace the high-pressure fuel pump, should I do injectors too? There's no. So with the FA... What are you doing, Mochi? Corgis, man. With the direct injection stuff, there's not really a need to replace the direct injectors. Once you're out of direct injector, at that point, you're looking at adding port injection. And if you're looking at adding port injection, you're looking at adding a standalone to be able to control the port injection. This is why I say if you want big power out of these cars, do an EJ. Because they already have port injection, you can just put bigger injectors in. When it comes to the direct injection stuff from the VAs, if you want more power past what the direct injection injectors allow, you have to add port injection. When you add port injection, you have to add a Motec. And then you have to add fuel lines, fuel rails, fuel pressure regulator. The list goes on. So when it comes to that stuff, it doesn't really become practical unless you have some type of connection or like personal affiliation with that specific car to like keep it and make big power on. So when you're out of direct injection, you're out of direct injection at that point. So keep that in mind. No Plano shop. Is Plano not there anymore? Is Plano gone? Cobb there and Plano's gone, but Calvin Dotson from Cobb there has Dotson tuning, and he's there we go. He may have been the one who tuned my car like 10 years ago when it used to be Plano. Who knew? John Boy, as far as I know, yeah. Hey Tanner, do you know how to look inside a custom tune? Yes, but if the tune is locked, you can't do anything. Most tuners will lock their tunes so that way, people can't go into the tune file and copy aspects of their tune. It's kind of like intellectual property. So most tuners will lock their tunes so that way you can't go in there and look at anything. If your tune is unlocked, then you should be able to go in there, look at everything, make changes, etc. By going in with whatever tuning software you have. Like for me, it's Haltech. I'll plug in my Haltech. I can go in there. I can do whatever I need to do. Just kind of the way it goes. Your preference, unequal length or equal length? Equal length all the way. I think it sounds better and it performs better. People will fight me till the day they die and tell me unequal length sounds better, but I disagree with that. Should I do a cylinder 4 cooling mod on an NA EJ253 if I do unequal length headers? If you want to, go for it. I don't use them anymore. It doesn't hurt to throw them on. It doesn't hurt to not have them, in my opinion. So I'm a little confused. Is it recommended to have an access port for a Pro Tune? Not necessarily, no. So an access port is only a tuning device to flash a stock ECU. There are alternative means such as open source tuning. Depending on what the car is, I do not believe there's open source tuning for direct injection vehicles. There's standalone options. So the access port is the equivalent of like an ECU type deal. It's a way to be able to flash the stock ECU and tune the stock ECU. If you venture outside the realms of you no longer want a stock ECU, you no longer need the stock ECU, or the stock ECU is not compatible for what your goals are with the vehicle anymore, then at that point you would ditch the stock ECU and whatever tuning device you're using to tune the stock ECU, move into something like a standalone. Most people go from stock ECUs to standalones primarily for safety controls, or the stock ECU is no longer able to provide the capabilities of tuning the engine to where you need it. Like for example, on my EG33, I can't run a stock ECU on that car because there's no way to tune it. You can do a piggyback, but the piggyback isn't going to give you as much availability and safeties to be able to tune that thing safely. Access ports are a very good tuning option still, just because you still have all of the OEM logic built into that access port to be able to tune the ECU and still have a lot of the safeties that are already built in there. So when it comes to tuning, an access port is just the tool or the device or the software you're using to be able to tune the stock ECU. So Just keep that in mind. There's multiple ways to go about it. The access port is just the means in which you're using to tune the stock ECU. How important are rockers? Because mine are rusted enough on I mean, they're quite important. Are you talking about the structural part or just like the visual external part of it? Because the structural part that's the important part. That's the important part that you need. EZ30 update. Ben, we're a long way out from that, man. We're a long way out from that. What horsepower would you need to switch to a standalone? It's not really a horsepower benchmark. It's when the stock ECU begins to inhibit what you're trying to do with the vehicle. If the stock ECU isn't giving you the safeties you need, like with the Haltech, I have different levels of safeties built in. You guys have seen it. If my oil pressure drops, the Haltech will display an image on my dash that says, hey, dummy, you have low oil pressure, turn the engine off. Or the engine's cold, it'll display a message. Or I can have safeties built in where it'll shut the engine off if X, Y, or Z parameters are met and then something's going wrong. So it's not necessarily a horsepower thing of I'm making 600 horsepower, I need a standalone now. A stock ECU is still fully capable of being able to control that. It's when the stock ECU no longer becomes compatible for what you're trying to do. RSB, Home Renovations Incorporated, you can problem is the Haltech. A Haltech won't cost you about 10K to run. I mean, I feel like that's a little up there. You can get a Haltech. For most people, that's the other thing, is when it comes to like these ECUs, most people go straight to the top of the line ECU, and you don't need the top of the line ECU. When it comes to buying a standalone, you have to understand like what you need the standalone to do, because these standalones will do different things. Like we'll use the RX-7 for example. Most people run Haltech Elite 1500s on RX-7s. They'll use a 1500 because the 1500 is more than capable of being able to control a 2-rotor engine with a single turbo setup. If somebody wants to run the sequential twin turbo, like stock turbos on an RX-7, then at that point they're going to have to get a Haltech Elite 2500, because the 2500 then is able to control the sequential for the turbo. So you have to look at what these ECUs are able to provide you and not just be like, I want the top of the line one because it's the most expensive. Most people are totally fine with like a Haltech Elite 750, 1500, something along those lines, or something cheaper, Mtron. Motec is like top of the line, but not a lot of people need Motec unless you're like direct injection, because they're one of the few that can actually do direct injection. So yeah, I actually saw the IQ10 came out. I want that. IQ10 massive display from Haltech came out. I want that thing for the STI. But beside the fact, you got to look at what the ECU is capable of doing. You have to understand what you need your car to do and what the basic parameters of what you need the Haltech or the standalone ECU to control. So you don't always need to buy the biggest and baddest ECU that's out there. You need to find the one that works for what your goals are and then incorporate that into your build. So you don't need a Nexus. You don't need an Elite 2500. You don't need some of these ECUs. You might want them, but you don't need them for your build. So it can be done significantly cheaper. Tanner, let's bring back the Causies. My opinion, they flow the same as the Process West. Dude, did you see it? So I was actually just looking on Flatiron's website. I was looking at the Cosworth manifolds again, and they've ended production on them as of last month, so you can no longer order Cosworth manifolds again. So I now own a relic of a Cosworth manifold again. I'm excited for that thing. They don't have that aggressive intercooler bend at the throttle body. They don't. You are not wrong. Thoughts on doing a 350Z build? That was actually my first I guess like modified car. It was a 2004 350Z. It was the burnt orange color. Was it a touring? I think it was a touring model. That thing was a blast, dude. I would hands down own another 350Z. I will join the Trumpet gang for a little while because those things are fun. Is it UC10 or it's the IQ10 I thought. So I don't remember, man. The Haltech came out with a new display. It's bigger than the one that I have in the STI and I want it. It's cool. Do they not sell catless downpipes for VBs anymore, or is it just because I'm in Cali? I don't think they sell them at all. I'm pretty sure you can have them made. I guarantee someone will make you a catless downpipe if you really want one, but there's not really a point. The only time you really need to go to a catless setup is if you're shooting for big power, and if you're shooting for big power on an FA series engine like a VA or a VB, then again, you're looking at doing like Motec and all this other stuff. So I mean, for 99% of all of us out there, catted downpipes are just fine. They're totally fine there. Is the red 2-door build still going to happen? Yes, at some point. I just have it sitting in a dark shed. It's not even a shed. It's a storage unit right now. Because what I want to do with the car, I don't have the capabilities to be able to do it quite yet. So I'm waiting until I have the capabilities to be able to do so. But I will tell you now, it's not the red one. I ended up selling the red one and I bought a different one. It's a black one now. It's a coupe. It's a black coupe. But it's sitting in a shed. I'm just waiting for the opportunity when I actually have the capabilities and the resources that I want to be able to do it right, because that's a car that I want to strip down fully to the chassis. I'm talking, you ever see those the TikToks where they have the big vats of like chemicals and they'll bring a chassis in and dip it in there and completely strip it and do all that stuff, and then they drip it, like bring it out, bring it over, they sandblast it, they repowder coat or repaint the entire chassis. This is like, I want to do like, so I have it sitting in storage right now until the time comes when I actually have the resources to be able to do that. If you leave the car in the right part of town, I know it'll be catless. You're not wrong. I appreciate the answer. I have a 2019 SD on the furthest I want to go is Stage 2 Plus. People are saying a Pro Tune costs too much for just Stage 2. No, I mean, a Pro Tune is always going to be a better option than an OTS tune, because an OTS tune, it's a very conservative tune that's built to suit a lot of people in a lot of different climates at a lot of different altitudes to be able to have their car operate. And 9 times out of the 10, I've driven on OTS tunes for a very long time. Back in like early Subaru days when I first got into Subarus in like 2011. I mean, I drove around on OTS tunes for months, and I never had any issues. But then again, I never like pushed the cars hard on OTS tunes. So you'll always benefit from a Pro Tune. I mean, most Pro Tunes I think now range between $500 to like $1,200, depending on the tuner you go to. Do you think the FA24 has more potential than the EJ20, EJ25? Honestly, no, I do not. I do not think it does. Unless you're looking at spending, once again, big power or big money to make big power. I think that the FA20 and the FA24 have great potential for sub 500 horsepower. Anything north of 500 horsepower, I think it's not the right engine for the power level that you're wanting. Can you do it? Yes. I mean, you can totally do it, but I firmly believe that an EJ25 will always be as of this time until new technology comes out or something along those lines. I will continue to say I do believe the EJ25 is a better platform for north of 500 horsepower. I will continue to say that the FA20, FA24, actually no, FA24 is a better platform for sub 500 horsepower. But with that FA24, then again, you're looking at doing an STI 6-speed swap, clutch, axles, all that stuff to be able to handle the power, because those WRX 6 speeds they're no better than the WRX 5 speeds used to be. So, you know, each one has its pros and cons. They both got pros and cons. Thanks for selling the Killer Bee inlet. Yes, sir. I got to sit right over there. I'm gonna shoot you tracking tonight right after this before I go back to the shop and get it dropped off for you. So that should be over at your place soon. Thanks so much for all the content. You're really helping the community, and you helped me turn my WRX into race car. Hey, appreciate the dono, John. Appreciate the support, my dude. Went Stage 2 from Cobb on my 23 WRX car has been awesome, although noticing a bit of small fine knock numbers going, hey, mine does the same thing. Mine did the exact same thing on that Cobb map. Mine would go from like a negative 3.35 to negative 2.11. It seems like a lot of people have that on that OTS map, so get a Pro Tune if you can. Ever since I had my Pro Tune done with Josh, my dyno tune done with Josh on the 23 WRX, I think the most fine knock learn that I see is like negative 141, which is like not bad at all. Pros and cons of going open source. Pros, it's cheap. In most cases, it's free because you can download the software for free. Finding a tuner is a little bit more difficult with some open source stuff. Open source doesn't provide the amount of safeties that you would get out of like an access port or a standalone. Can you tune a car in open source and have it be successful? Yes, you can. It's just the big aspect for me when it comes to like tuning are the safeties of it. Open source just kind of lacks in that area. The user interface of open source also I'm not a huge fan of. You have to sometimes jump between a few different softwares. I mean, you're going to be doing that with some other softwares also. You need like a data log viewer, you need the software, you need like the Flash software. So it becomes a little bit cumbersome having to have like a laptop dedicated to just open source tuning where you have like 3 or 4 programs that you need to be able to like tune the car properly and get everything on there. So, I mean, it's not a bad option. It's just not one of my preferred options. Best B-Day person. David! What up, dude? How you doing, man? Happy B-Day. You need a 400Z, Tanner. I would love one, but those things are expensive, dude. 400Zs are, like, stupid expensive now. Hey, question on the FA20. Can I do a swap to only port injection, like get rid of direct injection altogether? Technically speaking, yes, you can, but you still need a Motec. You still need a way to be able to control it, because you got to remember, when it comes to getting a standalone, for most people, in most cases, if you're getting a standalone, you still want the CAN integrated ability to be able to control everything else. Regardless of if you got rid of direct injection and went to port injection, you would still need a standalone to be able to control it. So you're still looking at spending the same amount of money. And it wouldn't make sense to get rid of the direct injection, because if you can have direct injection and port injection, you can have it work as staged fuel injection. So you could have your direct injectors working from this RPM to this RPM range, and then when you need more fuel for more boost, you can have your direct injectors and your port injectors working from this range to this range. So that's kind of, it wouldn't make sense to get rid of them. You'd want to keep them, but technically speaking, yes, you could. Tanner, what's up, bro? When are we gonna see Blue in person? When all the rain stops, dude. It's been nonstop rain. I've been looking at that car every day. I want to drive it every single day, but I can't. It's just pooping rain outside for the past like 2 weeks. It sucked. Are you waiting for your warranty to end on your new WX before you modify it?
I have voided that warranty on that car within like the first month of me owning it.
No, dude, that car's already tuned. It's got an intercooler intake downpipe, AOS. That car, there's no warranty on that car anymore. I immediately started like going into that thing. I don't like waiting to tune my cars. If it's my car, I want to rip it apart. I want to do what I want to do with it. Tanner, what's up, bro? When we see Blue, I'm dodging all of the emissions stuff in Illinois. Stuff here is rough. See, that's the nice thing about Washington, though. It may rain all the time, but we have no emissions. We got no emissions. No emissions. It's great. No emissions testing. What's up, Tanner? Watching from Kingston, Jamaica. I love the videos. Hey, appreciate the support, my man. I'm thinking of getting my Cobb downpipe and doing fueling installed and tuned before I go full build. Thoughts? Doing the full build about 2 to 3 years from now, going down. I mean, honestly, you do downpipe fuel injectors right now, you'll enjoy the car a little bit more up until you decide to do the full build. You'll be able to pick things up a little bit more with it also, and you'll probably reuse those parts later on anyway, so I say send it, man. What's up with the RX-7? It is sitting at the shop right now. I still need to fix the oil leak on the oil pan, but I ordered the mirrors for it, so that way it can be street legal. So, dude, it's so expensive buying parts for that car. I gotta buy it sporadically. I wanted mirrors for that thing. I wanted Ganador mirrors, if we're being honest, for the RX-7. But Ganadors for RX-7s, people want like $4,000, okay? And I'm not gonna pay someone $4,000 for some side mirrors, okay? That's just, no, that's ridiculous. So I bought the reps. They're called super mirrors. They look like Ganadors, but they're not Ganadors. They're called full carbon fiber. They look great, and I need them to be street legal, so that way I'm able to drive that car to a dyno to get it tuned anyways. So I bought those. I tried to buy them on Alibaba, but Alibaba wouldn't ship me the mirrors to the United States for some reason. So I found the same set of mirrors on eBay for $200 more. So it was dumb. It was like $750 for side mirrors, but my OEM ones broke when I pulled them off. The glass shattered and the wiring on them is just corroded and it's nasty. So it'll be street legal once I get these mirrors in. And then from that point, I'll fix the oil leaks. We'll set up a dyno schedule. We'll go get the car dyno tuned, and it should be party time for the RX-7. So I'm all down for it. Tara, appreciate the dono. You willing to do some street runs in the VB? About to do Killer B external wastegate top mount E60 on VAWX, currently just stage 2. Well, I mean, if we go to Mexico, we can do whatever we want. Why? What car are you trying? You trying to do street? You're trying to run me in the VB? Like my VB? My VB ain't fast. I'll take blue. Can we use blue? Blue will put you for like a run for your money there. No, I mean, if we go to Mexico, we'll see. When are you gonna have new Speedy merch for sale? Soon. We have something quite big coming up soon that I haven't publicly announced yet, and I'm not ready to publicly announce yet. So after we get through this big event that's coming up, then there will be new stuff up on the site. So soon. We're waiting until this big event happens that I can't speak on too much right now, and then we'll have more stuff on the site. So soon. Stop trimming your beard. Do you know how annoying it gets when it gets like sea captain, like I'm lost at sea long, and then I try to like eat something and it just like lives in my mustache, or like I take a drink of something and it's just in my mustache for the next 2 hours and I don't know what's there. Like, it's fun having the big old beard for a while and all that. It just becomes unpractical though. So what power levels are you shooting for in the STI Blue? So we stopped tuning. The car has more in it. We stopped tuning because we couldn't see how the graph was. We couldn't see an accurate representation of the graph, so in theory we didn't know where we are. Without knowing where we are in power level, we don't know if we're going too far or what, because we know what the block and everything is rated for, But at the end of the day, we don't know how much power the car is actually making, so we're kind of just shooting in the dark there, and we could push it too far, blow things up. So we'll see. I mean, the car has more potential in it. We stopped at 37 psi. It's got more. I'm going to enjoy it at 37 psi for a little while. Then we'll take it back over to Josh. We'll take it to Josh's this time on the dyno jet. Fernando, I believe, got the Mustang dyno fix, so I'm going to be headed down there hopefully within the next week to go get actual power numbers on the STI to see what it's making on the Mustang, so that way we can see an accurate representation of it, but we'll see. I know these beard problems, Tanner. Save it for the later flavor saver. Dude, it's like hours it'll be in there. Hours. Blue makes 400 though, and I live by the fairgrounds, so I'll keep an eye out on the freeway for you. Cough, cough, I'm New Mexico. See, there you go. There you go. Yeah. I just trimmed the stash and leave the beard. I feel like when you trim your mustache, though, and you got a big beard, it looks weird. Like, am I wrong to think that? Like, if you have a little itty-bitty mustache and a big beard, it looks weird. EG swapped the GD STI. No, that STI will be getting easy 30 swapped in the future after we enjoy with an EJ for a while. Hey, Tanner, when is the next engine short block giveaway going to be? I need one but so bad. You guys want one? You guys want another short block giveaway? I think I can still do a poll. I haven't done this in a while. I'm getting, like, back with it for live streams. Here we go. Here we go. Here we go. Shall we do... I'm going to make this so hard to read intentionally. Shall we do a give away What am I typing? I'm gonna leave it. I'm not gonna leave all those typos. It's pretty bad. Son. This makes no sense. I am like having issues typing. Boom. There. I threw it out as a poll. It's out there as a poll. It makes no sense to me. It makes no sense to me, but it's out there. If you guys want me to do another, we can do another one. Hey Tanner, got a 2011 STI with cob intake, catted down pipe, running stage 2+2, and off the axis port. Notice some overboosting with 2-cell P0224 code thrown. Any idea? What is code P0224? Is that overboost? I don't know what these codes are. I know like a P0420 off the top of my head. Okay, let me see what this is. P0. I totally just lost the comment. P0224. What is this? Polar Air Cargo Flight. P0. Oh my god. Cell. Let me clarify. Cell. Overboost. It is an overboost code. Fun. Get a Pro Tune. I mean, it's probably just overboosting. Colder weather obviously will be more dense air, so the more dense air is going to create a more compressed charge, and then you're going to get bigger boost. Get a. I'm assuming you're still internal wastegate. Just get an actual tune. That should help clear things up quite a bit. You studded the 13B correct? Yes, sir. It is studded. It is. I use the Turblone stud kit. Does decking heads change the compression ratio? Technically speaking, yes, it does, but you can compensate for that by using a slightly thicker head gasket to make up for the difference in material that was taken away. But then there's some measurements, so you got to ask your machine shop how much material was removed, and then you got to find out the difference that you need to add to the head gasket, and then you buy the appropriate thickness head gasket, and then you can get that back. But yes, decking the head will continue to change the compression ratio as you continue to bring it in more. To be able to bring it in more. Oh, I have to open in web browser? I'm already in the web browser. What are you talking about? Wow, there's 99% for yes. You guys want another short block. I only know P0420 as well. See? You're not alone. P0420. We all know P0420. Tanner, thoughts on the Volvo Red Block platform? I know you usually Subaru, but I don't know if... I don't even know what a Volvo Red Block is. I don't even know what that is. I feel like that's something I need to Google later to figure out what a Volvo Red Block is. This instant proved my move. Hey, that's what's up, Jay. That's what's up right there, man. What do you think are the downfalls of the EJ 205? I mean, the fact that it's a 2-liter, it's a 205. I mean, honestly, if you want a 2-liter, you want a good 2-liter, you get the 207. Thicker cylinder walls, better engine overall. 205s, they're okay. It's not a good 2-liter in my opinion. Can you make it a good 2-liter? You can make it a great 2-liter. But it's a 205. Like, it's an off-the-shelf 205 tossed in a car. You want a good 2-liter that's high revving, 207. I'm not a huge 2-liter fan, but 207 if you're going to want it like a solid 2-liter. 205, there's just no, like, good pros to it, in my opinion. Hey, recommended track mods for a Bone Stock 2017 STI in 2 track days. I chiseled the edge on my front tires. Tires, rear sway bar, honestly, that's really all. That's really all I'd suggest if you're going out to a track and you want to just enjoy the car is a thicker rear sway bar to help remove some of the understeer and just good tires. Like at the end of the day, it's really all you need to have fun with the car at the track. You don't technically have to do a rear sway bar, but it just helps with the understeer factor of it. That's what I would suggest. Aside from that, keep it bone stock, rear sway bar, and links tires. Send it. If you want to add like cooling or actually no, oil pan. I'd probably do oil pan on that one also. That's a good one to add in there. What's the CR on the 07 STI? I would have to Google that because off the top of my head, I have no idea, my man. FP Green or BB500 for stock location? How much power you want? That's the real question here. Any thoughts on the EJ20X garbage engine in the US configurations? Okay, let me correct myself. That was a little hostile. I came off a little hostile. I'm sorry. EJ20X, that 90% of people do are garbage swaps because they don't do them right. If you're going to use an EJ20X, use it as a dual AVCS engine. Keep in mind it's a stock motor still, so you're not going to be expecting the moon out of it. But whenever people do EJ20X swaps here in the States, and I've had to fix so many of these swaps from customer cars that have come in, they're never done right. They're never done right. They're always half-assed. Parts are just kind of, if you do it right, they're okay. I wouldn't go out of my way to do an EJ20X swap, though. And pickup, I mean, if you're doing the oil pan, do the pickup also. If you're doing the oil pan, I would do the pickup and the windage tray, just as kind of like the combo deal. And just send it with that. Just came across the stream, bought a 15 WRX with a stage 1 Cobb setup. Not too bad. How you enjoying it, Mr. Nuts? How you enjoying it? Bought that last week. Nice. Volvo red blocks are engines in 240s, 740s, and 940s. Million-mile motors. They can throw 20 pounds of boost. Are they diesels or are they gas? Are they diesel engines? I've never heard of these things before. Thank you, Tanner. Going to Snail Performance later this week. Just wanted to get your thoughts just in case. Been loving the content. Great work, brother. Hey, appreciate it, man. I've heard good things about Snail Performance. I've never been there, but I've heard great things about them. Most people turn them into street racers or drift wagons. I never heard this. I've never heard this before. Do 15 plus WRX have baffled oil pans? So VA and VB WRXs, you don't technically need to do an oil pan on it because there's two oil pans. You have like an internal oil pan that bolts onto the engine. Then you have like the oil pan where you drain your oil out of that bolts down to that. So there's not really a lot of like aftermarket oil pan options for these cars. I think they had some for the BRZ when I had my BRZ for that FA20, but I don't think they like widely offer these pans. STI transmission swap with a new WRX, that'll be happening soon. That will be happening soon. Probably when we go to do the ETS quick spool kit on it. Yo, Tanner! How do I know if I have a bad cat on my VAWX with an aftermarket catted downpipe? You'll probably get a check engine light that says P0420. It'll probably be a P0420 check engine light that you get for catalyst efficiency. Honestly, that's like, or like you can start smelling that the catalytic converter is not doing its job, or the cat could be getting clogged. In that case, you'd be having back pressure issues. So, I mean, there's a couple things. What makes you think that your catalytic converter is going out? What do all Subi guys like rotaries? Who doesn't like rotaries? I feel like it's not just like Subaru dudes like rotary. I feel like everybody likes rotaries. Who doesn't like a rotary? Everybody likes rotary. They sound great. They're cool. They're easy to build. I take that back. They're kind of easy to build if you know what you're doing, but I didn't know what I was doing, so I made it more difficult. I think I built that thing 3 times because I messed up twice. Power goals for the RX-7? Honestly, whatever it makes. Like, whatever it makes. I don't really have a power goal in mind. I didn't have a power goal in mind when I went to build the RX-7. When I went and I built the RX-7, I wanted it to be simplistic. I wanted to get rid of the twin turbos because of the rat's nest of wiring. I wanted to simplify everything. I was talking to the guys over at Turblone because they've been helping me through some of the RX-7 stuff. They were saying that the car could do like anywhere between 600 and 700. Honestly, I'd be fine at like 450, 500 in that car. I think I would rather have that car turned down with that engine that I built because I don't fully trust it. I don't fully trust that thing. And we'll see how long it pans out though. Do you think it's worth going flex fuel on a daily driven STI with E85 locations being about an hour away and no room in your? No, I do not. E85 is great if you're trying to. E85 is awesome if you flex fuel and you have a tune that you can actually use E85 on and you have a purpose for using that tune. Just to use E85, just to use E85 to say you have E85 or just to make it flex fuel, there's not really a point in it if you're just daily driving it. Why aren't we seeing any 2.5 RS content? Haven't I talked about this like 3 or 4 times in the stream so far? It's sitting in a little dark room thinking about what it did right now. Okay, no, for real talk, it's chilling until I have the means to be able to do to it what I want to do to it. Man, I remember 20 years ago, you had 500 horsepower and you're golden, right? Oh, how times have changed now. Oh, how times have changed. That's a $1,000 question. Do you think it's worth... No. Planning to upgrade my turbo on stock WRX EJ205. What do I need? I mean, technically speaking, all you need is a turbo to upgrade the turbo. But turbo, fuel injectors, fuel pump, intake... Do all the supporting mods around it. Everything. If you're cramming more air into the engine, cram more fuel into the engine also. So fuel injectors, fuel lines, fuel rails. Just do the whole kit and caboodle. I also don't know what turbo you're putting on. If you're just putting on like a VF48 or a VF39, technically speaking, you don't really have to do much. But I would do injectors. So video today. No, this is the video today. This is the video today. I decided to do live streams on Mondays because that gives me like a little buffer zone for videos. So next video will be out tomorrow. So today's video is the live stream. Next Monday's video will also be the live stream. We're doing the live streams. I've missed the live streams. Live streams are kind of fun. What do you think about the 08 WRX? You want my honest opinion, Eagle Eye? And I do not want to hurt any narrow body owners' feelings right now, okay? So please know that when I say this, it is from the bottom of my heart that 08 WRXs were the worst 08, 09, 010 WRXs were the worst WRXs ever made. And I say this not out of hate or like anger towards anyone, but let's be honest, they were the worst. They had 08 WRX was really bad. They had engine problems. They revised a lot of the stuff in 09, but they were still narrow body and the platform was still mediocre at best. 2010 they kind of fixed it. 2011 they fixed everything. 08 to 10 is just not very good. Not very good. Not a fan of narrow bodies. This is not a fan. Not a fan. How do you think the FA24 is going to do when IAG drops the closed deck block? Do you know? I don't think it's going to do any better than it's doing now, to be honest. Like I don't see most people going out of their way to spend $8,000 on a Motec to try to make big power on these cars. I just don't see it happening. We didn't see it happen with the FA20s, and I don't think we're going to see it happen with the FA24s either. I think most people with VBWRXs are going to hit that 400 to 450 horsepower mark and leave the car there, with maybe 5% of owners going down the rabbit hole of doing the Motec, port injection, bigger turbo, all this other stuff to be able to make more power. But I don't see a lot of people realistically going down the rabbit hole of doing all of this stuff to make more power. It's just financially, it's so much more expensive. It's so much more expensive than doing it on like an EJ. And do you go to any meets? I do go to meets, but I never see when they happen. So I only go to them when I see that they're happening. So I rarely ever see them. Rarely ever. If you do a YouTube video talking about the progress or anything explaining what the builds are, even though most of us are already tracking, just helps keep us in the loop. I can do that. We can totally do that. Do you plan on FA24 build? Do you know this media way? It depends. Like I said, there's not really a point in me doing a built motor in that car unless like the stock one blows up. I personally don't want to spend $7,000 to $8,000 on a Motec for that car. It's a daily driver. It's the DD. It takes me from point A to point B. That's the problem with these FA engines. Everybody hypes up the FA20 and the FA24 engines so much. And I will agree. The FA24 is a fantastic engine for sub 500 horsepower. But if you were looking to make 500 plus, that's when things get extremely expensive on these FA engines. And I don't think a lot of people realize that, because the way that we all operate and the way that we all work, we'll do an intake, we'll do a downpipe, yeah, why not? We'll do an intercooler, we'll keep doing all these little things. And we're going to get to the point where we're like, okay, I'm comfortable with the car, I want more power out of the car. With an FA, when you get to that point, it's like, all right, Motec, $8,000. John Reed software, another $3,000. You need an engine harness or a patch harness to be able to make everything work. There's another $1,500. You need fuel injectors. We'll probably run 1700s in that case. So there's another $1,400, and you need fuel rails, fuel injector, dual fuel pump hanger. It becomes so much more wildly expensive to make big power on those cars. It is 100% doable, yes, but for me, it's just I personally wouldn't do it. Financially, it doesn't make sense to do it. So EJ over FA, I wouldn't say EJ over FA. They both have their place. I'd say if you want a fun, reliable, daily driver that you can get like 450, 500 out of, somewhat comfortably. I'm saying somewhat comfortably because at that 450 plus, you start making more torque and you're going to start lifting ahead. So you're still going to have to go in there and build the engine if you want to. But sub 500 horsepower, I'd say FA24. Anything past 500, I would say EJ all day. EJ all day on that. Just posted the red block in your other vehicle. I will swing in there and take a look later. Do you know Do you know someone who has tuned their VB CVT yet? I do not. I only know one person with a CVT VB, and that was the one that I did all the stuff for out in the garage and did their little micro build on. So, yes. I have an 09 Impreza 2.5i with the engine. When the engine goes, and if I want a turbo with a new EJ, would I need new ECU and everything for the swap? Yes, you would. The stock ECU is not capable of being able to be tuned for a turbo application. So yes, you would need an ECU. Hi, Smeedy, ever do a D-stroked build? I have not. I can't say I have. Until Haltech makes DI control, it's not going to be cheap. Correct. I don't know if Haltech is going to make DI control either. They could. I haven't seen anything come from Haltech talking about doing DI control. I don't know why. Daily the FA and then build the EJ then. That's the way. I don't know why more people haven't. I don't know if it's a software thing, if it's more difficult to control or scale direct injection over port injection. It could be. I'm just not 100% sure on it. I don't know the software side of things on what it would take to be able to make more DI ECUs. Most reliable EJ question mark. I mean, I don't know, man. Isn't any EJ can be a reliable EJ. It depends on how's the overall health of the engine, what's done to it, how's it tuned, is it tuned aggressively, is it tuned conservatively, how are you driving it, are you taking care of it? But that's not, you can say that about any engine. You can say that about any engine out there. How far can one realistically take the 2-liter engine, the non-STI 2015 WX? Are you talking about the FA20? FA20? That one? Tanner, where is Matt? Why are you yelling at me, Yawn? Why are you yelling at me, man? Matt's at work, all right? Matt's always at work. I miss Matt. I never get to see Matt anymore. Matt's always at work, all right? I don't get to hang out with Matt. I don't get to see Matt. Matt lives at work now. I don't have a Matt in my life anymore. Matt's left me. Can you build an EJ25 that gets to 550 and be a daily? We've done it multiple times, yeah. You can go back on Karma, the Hatch. I've done it multiple times, yeah, 100%. Yes, FA20. Realistic. I mean, you're looking at the same problem with the FA20 that you're looking at with the FA24. You can take it up to that certain point when you're going to start needing port injection, and then you're looking at Motec, all this other stuff, and it just gets expensive. So 450, 500-ish, that range right there. Hello, Matt. Is Matt in here? Matt's not in here. Where is Matt? Everybody is saying Matt. Matt's not even in here. I don't even see Matt. Where are me rusty case halves? Do you genuinely want them? I'll get you the shipping quote, man. Smedia takes the stage tomorrow on season 9. Oh, what's up, dude? What's up, man? Hello. How much power can a Cobb 20G make with the correct supporting mods? I think the most I've seen a Cobb 20G make with all good supporting mods is 410 horsepower. They kind of let me down. The Cobb 20Gs kind of let me down. Matt has one, and he only made 300 horsepower in his auto, which is kind of sad. I was expecting more. Hey, Smeedy, I've been told that the JDM 205 is a little stronger, so would we be able to handle at least 350? I don't know. I've never taken apart a JDM 205. I've never seen a JDM 205, so I honestly couldn't tell you. I mean, my guess would be as good as anyone else's if they haven't seen or torn one down, so I couldn't give you an accurate answer to that. I miss Matt's Choco Tacos. Same. Would you recommend the military to get you fit? No. Oh, God, no. No. Not at all. All they make you do is run. And it's not even good running. It's like crap running. For those of you that have been in the military or are in the military, I'm sure you can vouch for this. When it comes to formation runs that you have to do all the time, it's not good running. It's like slow running that is a jog. It's dumb. It's not a fun run. They call it fun runs, but it's not fun. Anybody who's been in the military can vouch for that. I guarantee it. Hey, how you been, man? Got the Subi ready to go. All I need is a Haltech wideband, and Bader might mess with her. Well, there you go, dude. Get it ordered. Get the wideband controller ordered. Get it. I know people got them in stock right now. Any plans to come down towards San Diego? I'd love to meet. Yes, on our 07 STI journey that Remy and I will be doing, we will be swinging up through San Diego. I'm going to try to slow sad. That is the most accurate representation. Slow sad running. That's it. Remy and I will be doing a couple meetups in each main city. The Hawkeye trip should be happening early to mid-spring. Don't join. Happiest day when I got my DD214. See? Any maintenance I should do on my 2020 WRX if it just hit 48k miles? Walnut blasting, if you haven't done it already, you got to take the intake manifold off. You got to walnut blast the valves because there's no fuel that passes over the valve, so you get a lot of carbon buildup. I'd probably do that between that 40 and 50k mile range if you haven't done that already. Love your comedy and doggos. So, do you miss your Subi hatch or not really? Honestly, not really. No, I don't. Like, I miss it sometimes, but at the same time, I don't really miss it that much. Not too much. Not too much. A little bit. Every now and then, but not much. You know, I'll have like a flashback. But not often. I don't miss it, no. I do want the rusty block. All right, man. All right. I'll check shipping. Tanner, you're a funny guy, man. Hey, appreciate it. Model helicopters and aeroplanes. That's what's up. I was looking at some of those earlier. I was looking at TikTok. I was scrolling through TikTok mindlessly, and I shouldn't be. And they had these like little model engines that you can run on alcohol. I wanted to buy one and build one. I thought it would be a fun video to do, to make all these like little model engines and like make them work. It'd be kind of cool, right? I think it'd be kind of cool. Cody, appreciate the donut, man. Can I get a really big woo? Oh, I've missed it. What cities on that trip? For California, San Diego, Los Angeles. What is the northern? Bakersfield, I think is the northern one. A couple of those ones, the bigger ones going like up and down through California, the big ones, the vertical ones, the vertical cities. Looking forward to seeing you in San Diego. It'll be a good time. Fort Hood equals buns. Dude, I was in Fort Polk. Okay, don't talk to me about buns in bad duty stations. Okay, you want to talk about buns? You get sticky buns in Fort Polk. It's terrible. It's not fun. It's not a fun time. You shower, you walk outside, and you need another shower again. Question, guys: is it worth going IAG FA20 short block or just replacing short? My piston rings are fried. Are you looking at making power? Are you making stock power? I mean, I could tell you all day to buy a build block, but if you don't need a build block, there's no point in buying a build block and then buy a stock block. So, I mean, it really comes down to, like, how much power are you making? Or how much power do you want to make? Do you have any hobbies besides cars anymore? Still playing Xbox. I do play a little bit of, like, Minecraft every now and then, or, oh my god, what is the ghost game? The ghost hunting game. We play this ghost hunting game, and it's a blast. Phasmophobia. We play Phasmophobia. I'm big into like guns, so we go out and go shooting every now and then. Photography, camera stuff. You know, dogs. I got hobbies. It's just I only film like the car stuff. I only like film that hobby. Are you popping past Melbourne, Australia? Let me just hop on my ferry and we'll be right over there, Lance. Now that'd be cool, but no, we're not. I used to be cursed by engine position errors on my Haltech paired with my 2011 STI. You are not alone, 235 Motorsports. I had the same problem. Finally got it fixed, but you're not alone. Any plans on coming to Japan? I mean, that'd be cool. I don't think I can afford to go to Japan right now. It'd be really cool though. Maybe one day. Not today. Maybe tomorrow. Maybe next week. Who knows? My cousin was just in Fort Polk for 6 years. He hated the entire. Dude, it's a terrible place. It sucks the happiness and the soul right out of you. The biggest building there is like Walmart. It's terrible. It's not a fun time. And it used to flood. And our water was brown. Bro, the running water where we were at in Louisiana on post, you would turn on the faucet and it would be like a light brown color. And you just look at it like you had to shower in it, you had to drink it. No. We had so many water filters. It was nasty. We need another hobby trip video like when you and Matt went to Best Buy. We went to Best Buy not too long ago. I get dangerous in Best Buy, man. I buy unnecessary things in Best Buy. If I want to go 450 wheel or more on my FA20, should I do STI drivetrain swap or built trans? STI drivetrain swap. 100%, man. 100%. STI drivetrain swap. It's such a good feeling transmission. Out of every OEM transmission I've driven, out of like any car, the STI 6-speed one has hands down been my favorite. Are you stopping by Sacramento? Is that a vertical city? If that's a vertical big city, then yes. If it's not a vertical big city, then I don't know. I'd have to look at a map. My geography of California is not that great. Will I get pulled over in California in those? I don't think I'll get pulled over in California in the US 7. Maybe I will. I don't know. That'd be fun. Take the 17 STI through California. I get pulled over so fast with that fender exit. Man, they'd see that exhaust coming out the fender. They'd kick me out of the state. What up, Tanner, my guy? Was that downpipe you got for the 07 open bell mouth? Yes, it was. If so, where you get downpipe? Cobb. I can't seem to find one that fit. So, I don't know. I'll tell you this. 08 to 21 all fit the same. 08 to 21 all fit the same, okay? So you buy one for an 08 and it'll fit your 15 plus. Just remember that. When you pop in the big Q to Mel, we're going to go to a different question. Thank you for that one. You'll be fine with out-of-state plates and license. Perfect. Oh, God, the 17, you probably get the car crushed. Would they crush it? Can they do that in California? Can they impound your car and crush it if it doesn't meet emissions? Or if I'm, like, driving through... So if I'm driving through California and I got my exhaust coming out my fender, it's shooting, like, massive flames, what is the worst that CHP could do? Could they just impound the car and put it in an impound lot? They can't crush it, can they? They can't legally do that. There's no way. You'll get pulled over if it's loud. They pull over factory new launcher ends. I saw that. Dude, that's ridiculous. And they like find him and all this stuff. I was like, that's wild. Would you go? I don't even know how to read that. Would you go black? Be okay. Make 550 wheel. I think you mean like an FP black. Yeah, you should be able to do an FP black on E85. They can't touch you. That's what I thought. No, just state ref. How do they state ref an out of state car though? That doesn't make sense. It doesn't they can't state ref an out-of-state car, can they? Like, how would they do that? There's no way. What would I do? They state ref me? Oh my God, put my car back to stock, drive it from Washington back down to California. I just won't go back to California in that car. Probably just a fat ticket. Did you ever try Link ECU on any builds? I have not tried Link, but I have heard good things about Link. My friend and I both have Haltex and Links, but customer support was far better with Link. Better support at Haltex. So here's what I found out with Haltech customer support. If you have a Haltech and you need customer support, don't even call the U.S. offices. The U.S. offices is a joke and they won't help you at all, and they'll just like drag you around the ringer. If you want actual customer support with Haltech, call Australia. Like, you're gonna have to do it late at night. Call Australia. There have been multiple times where I've called, and who is it? Tuning Fork. I think his name's Scott. He has literally remoted in to my laptop into my car from Australia and fixed whatever problem I had in like 2 minutes. So if you do have a Haltech and you do need support, don't even waste your time with the U.S. office. Dude, they're literally a waste of time. Have you ever felt the need to use an aftermarket DC-CD controller? Yes, I have one in the 17 STI. I also had one in the 14 WRX. The only reason I have one in the 17 STI is because the stock ECU can't get all the information. It needs to be able to send that to the OEM DC-CD controller, so I have to run a standalone one. And then obviously in my old WRX, never came with a DC-CD controller, so we'd add one in. Scotty, legend. Yes, that dude. Scotty. Cody, appreciate the donut, man. Wait, I thought 07 was the year to get because of the wheel speed sensors for doing drivetrain swapping a 15 plus WX. Is that a worry? So, the speed sensor in an 07 STI transmission is in the transmission. After 07, it's 08 plus. They moved the sensor from the transmission to the actual hubs. So, as for doing swaps into the 15 plus, I would just use a VA transmission. The 07 STI transmission is more sought after because it has a longer gear set, so people use them for drag racing. So that, to my knowledge, I could be wrong on that, but to my knowledge. Anyone have a WRX for sale? Reefy, you came to the good spot, Reefy. Yeah, Tuning Fork for the win. That dude, Scotty is the greatest. That dude is awesome. I've called and talked to him a few times. That dude is awesome. Would you install exhaust valves on your STI? It's a very random question. No, I mean, I have in the past, and then you have to grind down the valves or you have to cut the valve seats. So normally I let the machine shop do that. But, I mean, that's not really something that I would consider DIY unless you know how to cut valve stem tips. I would kind of leave that up to the machine shop. I'm looking for another WRX for my channel. Let me know. I don't have any for sale right now. I'm keeping all mine right now. Quick question. About a month ago, my 2020 WRX died and wouldn't start. It threw a P0606 and P0508. Cleared codes and everything's fine now, but don't know what caused. I don't know what these codes are. If you guys are putting codes in here and it's not a P0420 code, can you at least let me know what the code means? I mean, off the top of my, I have no idea what a P0606 or P050A code is. I've never. The only one I know is P0420 off the top of my head, unfortunately. Exhaust valve delete. Don't need him. You don't need him now. Got a dip for now, Tanner. Taking the Hawkeye STI to a car meet. Thanks, and Jelly! I want to go to a car meet. We don't have any out here. Should I just start hosting like weekly or monthly meets? Would people go to that? Thanks for the injectors. Glad they made it. Would people go to those? People go to those if I hosted those? I feel like they would. Sorry, man. My car Lost my car to 3 deer Saturday morning. Missed all the deer, but was raining and slid. Missed 3. Oh my God. Are you okay? Are you all right? That's wild. I mean, hopefully you're okay. Hopefully insurance taking care of you. Nick, the P0606 code relates to your engine's PCM. I had that code pop up on my VBWX, and when it did pop up, it was due to a threshold exceeded. So it was like an exceeded threshold. Never came back after that. Got you, man. Boost! Boostman Rocket, what's going on? Dude! Yo, Tanner, I need to do 06 STI timing belt. My tech teacher says it could take 40 hours! Your tech teacher is lying to you. 40 hours? The most advanced things I've done is engine swap and head gasket. If you've done an engine swap and you've done a head gasket, you have to retime the engine anyways for a head gasket. A timing belt should not take you 40 hours. A timing belt... Alright, so if it's your first time doing it, a timing belt probably will take you maybe 10 to 20 hours if it's your first time doing it. And you're like starting with like a fully assembled engine. If you know what you're doing and you've gone in there, which it sounds like you kind of know what you're doing since you've done engine swaps, you've done head gasket replacements. I'm assuming you've already retimed cars when you've done head gaskets. It shouldn't take you more than like max. Like if you know what you're doing, maximum like 6 hours in my opinion. Like I can get through doing a timing belt on like an STI or like an EJ in I think 4 hours at this point. I can go get in there and do it. So 40 hours is wildly high. Timing belt, 2 to 3 hour job. If you see, choices were 3 poles or down a steep hill into the woods or curb. So I probably got the best outcome. Luckily, none of those outcomes sound like fun ones, but glad to hear you're still going all right, man. Hopefully insurance takes care of you too, because I know that stuff can get hairy real quick. I already have an Elite 1500 in my Turbo Swap 2.5 RS. I am waiting for the day to add a PD16 and finally rewire the whole car. I want to to be honest, I kind of want to rewire my whole project also. Could make my standalone harness for the ABS to help. That would be nice. I have been, and some of you guys would kick me in the nuts if I did this right now and I just tore apart I'm not going to tear apart the STI, but I'm kind of wanting to start leaning towards the possibility of putting the STI on a Nexus and doing like a PDM and everything like that. I think I want to tear it apart and just do it again for some reason. I like the pain, all right? I'm not going to because I actually want to enjoy the car for a while, but I think next time it goes through another blossoming evolution of whatever we want to call it, I think I might do the PDM at that point. Appreciate the dono. Donating to start doing car meets. There's none in our area. Also, if you add, I have not had their teriyaki, but now I feel like I need to try it. Teriyaki and turbos with Tanner. It's all. My camera went out again. I will look at setting something up. I know there's like a nice little like boba place over here that's pretty open with people doing car meets, so we'll see. I'll try to set something up. I'd be so down. I mean, we could also do it at the shop, but then it becomes like I have to have somebody watching the gate to let people in and out, and then it's kind of a hassle over there. I don't know. We'll see. Hey, it's been a while since I've watched the stream of yours. Hopefully you're doing all right, man. I'm keeping busy. Clay, how are you doing, man? Body kit on blue. They are ML24 flares because I like me some flares. What happened to meets in the area? Used to be a ton in the late 2000s. I have no idea. The takeovers probably ruined a lot of them because people didn't want to go out anymore and get harassed by the police because they probably all thought that they were going to get yelled at. I mean, I've gone to a couple meets where the police have come and they thought we were doing like takeovers. So we were walking around a parking lot. Well, every car was parked. Nobody was doing anything. We were walking around a parking lot. So I think it's just the point of where people don't want to get harassed anymore or just get like, they just don't want to deal with it, if that makes sense. As someone who went through tech school, the professors double the time it takes to play it safe. Plus, that's also true. Not a one-day sitting. IAG versus Killer Bee oil pan. Flip a coin. Whatever one it lands on, get that one. Both good decisions. Any plans for coming to the East Coast for anything? Not like in the near future. I don't have any plans to go to the East Coast. I've also never in my life been to the East Coast. So, maybe I need to make a trip out to the East Coast. So, anyways, that's all I got for you guys on the stream. We've been going for about an hour. I have to go back over to the shop and go keep shooting the video that's going live tomorrow on the 07 STI. So I appreciate everyone swinging through the stream. Appreciate the donos as always, you guys. I'm going to continue to try to do these streams at least once a week on Mondays at 6 o'clock. So if you guys like the streams, I'll keep doing them. We'll keep coming back. We can talk about stuff. We can do all the things and whatnot. Maybe we can play bingo next week. Maybe I make like a bingo card and I can put it in like a share drive and we can all play bingo or something on like Facebook Marketplace. That could be kind of fun, right? Bingo, and then the winner gets like a swag pack or a merch pack or something. I don't know. A bingo might be fun. We can do bingo. Anyways, with that, I'm hopping off, you guys. I gotta go to the shop. I gotta go keep filming. I will catch you guys later. Appreciate everyone swinging through. So peace out, homies. Woo! See, you gotta do the karate chops, and then it's like the awkward point in the stream